Pillars of Peace is a program of the Hawaii Community Foundation that is focused on two things. The first is to invite global peace leaders to Hawaii so they can share their wisdom about peace building in their society and in our society. The second was to share with them the fantastic history and culture of Hawaii, the spirit of aloha, and how we're a living embodiment of that spirit of peace and compassion.
The message of Pillars of Peace actually is an exchange of ideas that is both local and global. So the themes of aloha that we want to share with the world, actually those same values of love and compassion are being expressed by people all over the world. And so the notion of Pillars of Peace is we can help share the message outward, but we can also help bring that message to people here to help reinforce the spirit of aloha.
The first inaugural visit under the Pillars of Peace program was with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. That was kind of like bringing the Beatles to Hawaii. That's been followed by a program that we participated in with Desmond Tutu and more recently with Aung San Suu Kyi. A Nobel Peace Laureate, she had been in exile for a number of years and has been principally responsible for the movement towards democracy in her country in Burma, and someone we thought could bring a certain kind of wisdom about contemporary society and how peace could play such a positive role.
But I believe that it's everybody's duty to do something positive for the society in which he or she lives. I think this is a basic human responsibility, and I'm a great believer in responsibility. In fact, I go on about it ad nauseum.
When we decided to bring these leaders to Hawaii as the signature event of Pillars of Peace, it was intended to be for the people of Hawaii, and particularly for younger people. We realized that the people that probably it made the greatest sense to talk to were high school students. It's at that age that you're beginning to formulate your values, your behavior, your practices. It's at that age where you begin to recognize how different and how similar you are to your peers.
I'm just wondering how many young people there are here today. I'm told that it's mostly young people in the audience. I'm very happy to meet you because the young people have a lot to teach us, and when I go abroad, I usually go abroad to learn rather than to teach. Usually I'm asked to speak, and so I have to speak, but I'd rather listen to people, and I much prefer dialogue to monologues. It's much easier, it's much more interesting, and you acquire so much more that way.
What was interesting about both speakers is they were interested in what the students had to say. The students' questions were insightful. They brought up points to make their questions meaningful.
Ruby asks, how do you maintain a balance between nonviolence and passion?
But why should passion be opposed to peace? You have to be passionate about peace in order to achieve it.
It was like a speech, but she didn't have anything written down. She was just having a conversation with us. And she really left an impact on them just by, clear humility and thoughtfulness in her words. There was a really strong, clear message, but it wasn't complex, it wasn't theoretical, but she really was able to convey and translate a message to the young people that makes sense and is relevant to their lives.
If you saw the students at Aung San Suu Kyi's talk, you would know it's relevant to those kids. They were excited, they were engaged.
The most important thing I learned was finding peace. Finding peace in the world. It's not only love and hatred, you can find peace with courage, compassion.
I didn't really know what to expect, but I was very happy to know that she's very passionate about what she does, and I really think that it's really good that she came to speak out to the people today, and I'm glad that I was able to come here and I learned a lot.
Before the talk, I thought compromise was a weakness. Through media, people saying if you're powerful, you just take what you want, just as she said. But compromise is not a weakness. It's also it's a strength. It's hearing what the other party want as well.
Because compromise means letting go of your vanity. A lot of people do not compromise because they think that it's a sign of weakness. Of course, it's not a sign of weakness. Compromise is a sign of strength. It requires courage to face the fact that you must learn to be satisfied with so much and no more, even though you may want everything.
It's not just about changing things globally, but you start with yourself.
You must have the patience and the persistence to pursue not just your dreams, but the values that you want to see in the world.
So it's so exciting to see these things come to life and to realize that the world thinks it's important too. Young people think it's important, funders think it's important, high-level thinkers. And so it's nice to see that there's actually change being made in a positive direction.
It's been 2 years now since we started the Pillars of Peace program. We've had an opportunity to work with remarkable educators like teachers on Lanai or teachers at Kailua High School, to work with the Polynesian Voyaging Society and Native Hawaiian leaders. It's been quite remarkable to see the embracing of this notion of peace. It's up to us to carry forward those messages and to put them into practice every day.